Hey guys, this is BearInABackpack, and today I'm joined by Tom.
Hello.
And Preston.
Hello.
I'm also joined by Kevin.
Hey!
And today we're going to be talking about a couple random things here on the No Games Here podcast. We're going to be talking about things like our favorite game soundtracks, games that we like that other people didn't find enjoyable, and also games that we don't like that everybody else seems to love. And, we'll probably end with something like, games we've been playing this week. So, why don't we start off with our favorite game soundtracks? I'm going to say that we should probably start with Preston, because we all know what his is, but we'll have him explain it.
Mine favorite game soundtrack, not only of all time, but also recently, is Undertale. I say that because ever since I stopped, I put like 20 plus hours into that game, and pretty much whenever I'm humming something, it tends to just come right back to Undertale. I have the soundtrack, which is played almost nonstop. I listen to remixes everywhere for it. It's just, I don't know. It's just a classic soundtrack. I say classic if the game hasn't even been out for a year. But it's just got, that classic feel that I know that, we're going to be hearing that music forever in the gaming world. And it's just something that I will definitely always be listening to also.
Remixes forever.
Yeah, you'll probably be hearing that game mentioned forever.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I've heard so many of Smooth McGrew's covers of it, and it's just these are so good. So good.
Yeah, Toby Fox is he composed all of it, and he's been composing stuff within the Earthbound community before that, and all his stuff is just fantastic.
I still have yet to play that game.
You have yet to play Undertale?
I have yet to play Undertale.
Do you know anything about Undertale?
I purposely avoid. You'll find that I'm the media black hole. I don't find any. I consume a ton of gaming media. I know a lot of stuff about what's going on in the industry, but when it comes to the actual what's in the games or what they're about, what in it, I try to go complete zero dark 30 on it.
Wow, that's actually super impressive with Undertale, since that's everywhere.
You'd be surprised how little I actually know about most games that I haven't played, because I purposely avoid it so that when I play it, I still have a fresh experience. Because to me, spoilers and stuff is the absolute world's worst thing for me.
Tom, I don't think that's local to just you. I'm pretty sure that's everybody who's
some people don't care.
Spoilers, no! Yeah, I guess kind of, but I don't know. Do you just go to two sites on the internet and then just immediately close all browsers for sake of running into something?
But see, I don't tend to surf the web that much other than gaming news sites. So when gaming news, for the most part, they avoid using spoilers. And if they
that makes sense.
So they purposely, because they know that that's a huge thing. I'm not a big person who goes on YouTube a lot, so I can avoid that kind of stuff. So things like Undertale, I can avoid a lot of it in comments and stuff. I don't read a lot of those, so most of it doesn't get spoiled for me.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
That's fair.
All right. What about for you, Tom? We've now kind of talked about Undertale a little bit. What's your favorite soundtrack?
Well, I would say mine are probably... I'm kind of mixed on it. Depends on my mood. I think that the best soundtrack that I think that did the most for a game was Journey, no question.
I don't think I've heard that one.
Oh, you never heard it or never played it?
Both, actually.
Oh, if you've never played them or did it, well, you probably both haven't, since you both are mostly PC players. It's a PlayStation exclusive.
That'd be why.
And basically the whole game is about, I'd say, 6 to 8 hours long. It's just you, your character, and you have to climb this giant mountain in the distance, and that's the game.
So kind of a little more extreme walking simulator.
It's extreme walking simulator and chirping simulator, because you talk by chirping.
Oh, they remade it on PS4.
They did.
I may have to pick that up then.
You should definitely pick it up. It is totally worth playing, and I promise you play that soundtrack, and that the ending to that game is probably one of the most powerful endings in terms of soundtrack. Then the whole game, there's no talking, like I said, there's just chirping. The whole mood of the game is only done through soundtrack.
Okay.
And so it has the
really
perfect
cool
amount of, it gets louder. I can't even remember the word for it, and
Crescendo.
That's the word I'm looking for. But it has plenty of great crescendos for all of the action. When you go underground, it's really dark and creepy and kind of mysterious. And the whole game, you kind of feel like with the soundtrack with it I don't know, it just emotionally moved me, unlike really any soundtrack I've ever played. And if you've never played it, if there's a game I could go back and forget I ever played it and play it again for the first time fresh, that'd be one of them.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check out the soundtrack for it. I mean, the way you describe it, it sounds like it's really good. Yeah, after this, I'll definitely load it up on YouTube and give it a shot. Yeah, for me, my favorite game soundtrack, it's kind of a split thing. I'm a very musical person, and it's really hard for me to like nail down my favorites to any one thing in particular. But I'd have to say like older stuff, it'd probably be the Banjo-Kazooie soundtracks, both for Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. For me, Banjo-Kazooie's just been a big part of my life growing up. I mean, it was one of my favorite games, and actually really was my favorite game growing up. And for me, whenever I listen to the soundtrack, it has a lot of nostalgia to it. And it's just a well done soundtrack. I mean, Grant Kirkhope did a wonderful job with the music, and in the desert areas, it really sounds like you're in the desert. It has that kind of Egyptian feel to it. Rusty Bucket Bay, it has that very industrial kind of mechanized feel to it. He did a good job capturing all that, and for me, I really like it. I don't know, it's always been something I really enjoyed. For the more modern stuff, I recently got done playing a game called Brigador, and I'm a big fan of techno and electro music, and the entire soundtrack is that. And to make it even better, it's even like retro, I guess they call it new retro wave electro, which is basically like 80s techno again in the modern era. And that's what it uses for the entire soundtrack, and it's fantastic. If you haven't heard it, I would recommend going and checking out the artists, their Makeup and Vanity set. And yeah, they do really good stuff. I'd actually listened to them before I played the game, it turns out. I had a whole bunch of their songs saved on my playlist on Spotify. And then I played the game and like, oh, I wonder who does the music. And looked it up and I was like, oh, those guys. Okay, that explains a lot. Like if you're a fan of the Hotline Miami soundtrack and like that feel, that's kind of what the kind of tone is of the music. So yeah, that for me, those would be probably my favorites. What about you, Kevin?
I was a pretty generic kid. My favorite soundtracks usually fall within like the Pokemon and Super Mario Bros. For like the NES, but one that is a bit more recent is basically the entire Mass Effect soundtrack.
Agreed.
Those are good soundtracks.
Just everything from like the galaxy map setting and then Reignite, just awesome. Oh, definitely. And then all of the soundtrack covers that you get on YouTube, like Maluka,
that spawns from it,
and yeah, holy cow, like just awesome.
Red's fight
I
song.
Oh yeah. I found recently that a lot of times some of the remixes can rival the original track themselves. Like, who was it? I think the name of the song's called "I Know That Feel," but it's a remix of the like main title screen music from Super Mario 64. But it's a techno remix of it, and it's made by Ben Briggs. He does a lot of video game remixes on YouTube. And I don't know, it really hits home. It has a really solid beat to it. And I don't know, there's a part of nostalgia to it just from its, Super Mario 64. But it's really good. Yeah. And like I almost like it better than the original soundtrack or the original song. I don't know.
Yeah. Just over the top. All of these remakes and all of these kind of like rehashing of old songs. I just love them.
All right, well, I think that kind of covers that. So why don't we move on to games that, that we don't like, that everybody else seems to just love with a huge passion. So, Kevin, why don't we start with you on this one?
Well, to be honest, I haven't really come across one lately. One that I really just don't like just because of the sheer style of gameplay it's got to be Resident Evil.
Really?
I
like
any
which
of
one?
them?
Like pretty much any of them that I've played, and I've only
played. Which ones have you played?
I've only played the second one, and then I think I played part of whatchamacallit, the newest one, the one where where they're trying to go a bit more multiplayer.
Oh, 6.
I like how you shot around probably the best Resident Evil.
Yeah, you
Resident
avoided
Evil
all
of
the good
time.
ones.
No wonder you think they suck. It's like you picked one of the oldest ones and the newest, shittiest one. Like,
No wonder you hate them.
Well, geez, I've got to take a look at this again.
yeah, you,
Resident
go
Evil
ahead and
4.
check out Resident Evil 4. Yeah,
Yes.
it's on Steam. You can get it on PC, and the controls are really nice now that they actually redid them.
Oh,
Because they were
really?
terrible.
It is like one of the best Resident Evils of all time. I'd argue the best one.
It
so
is
far.
the best one, I think. Preston, do you agree?
Yeah, I prefer that mainly because I don't like the fixed camera tank controls of the original ones.
I know. I mean, they originally did it, of course, as we all know, to kind of enhance that feeling of like helplessness because you have to stay stationary while firing, and you're like, oh god, they're getting closer.
Oh my gosh!
But it's just weird. I mean, you still have that in 4, but with the nicer controls, it's not as bad.
It doesn't seem as like clunky.
And is limiting.
Yeah. Like, to let you know how much I like that game, I've played it on GameCube, Wii, PC, and I want to say I actually played it on, I think it was on PlayStation for a little while, wasn't it?
Is it on PlayStation? I don't think it is.
Yeah, it was on PlayStation too.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it was.
played,
You're right.
Yeah, I played through it at a friend's house. So I played it on pretty much every platform you can possibly play it on, multiple times.
Yeah, it was originally GameCube exclusive that Capcom just broke that contract with. So.
Okay, because
nice.
I played it on GameCube and Wii.
Yeah,
The Wii controls were actually really nice.
They were.
The Wii version's the easiest version.
Well, if you have, like I said, if you have the gun attachment from the Zelda crossbow training,
oh, that
game,
doesn't work well with that though.
Oh yeah, it does.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, it does. I just got that and was like, oh my god, it's so easy to aim. Yes.
Gee.
But yeah, all right. Yeah, I can see that. I guess if you started with those games, it would be very difficult
2 and
to-
6.
I
God,
mean,
2 and 6.
I mean,
Oh.
I guess I didn't have a very good upbringing to the game.
No kidding.
Yeah. Oh well. I'll definitely have to, set that on the side burner. I'll definitely
sure.
take a look at it again.
Yeah, definitely. All right. How about you, Preston? What about you?
Game that I like that no one else seemed to.
The other way.
Mhm.
Oh,
Other way.
the other way. Other way. Game I don't
Not
like
yet.
that everyone else seemed
The
to.
hard one.
Not really hard for me.
Oh, wait a minute. Holy crap. I forgot about COD.
Preston was
what?
about to use that for his other
No.
one.
Really? Yeah.
Wait, which
Yeah.
one?
Like just basically the COD franchise.
Games that people like, but he doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I totally feel you there. That's
But the
I
whole
don't know.
franchise?
Not the whole franchise, but
there's some good ones in it, but
there's some good ones. And Nazi Zombies was a really good idea. I spent many a day playing that with my friends, but
Mhm.
but just over the top how much they've milked the games.
Yeah,
It's-
agreed.
I think we keep on like in these blogs. In these podcasts, I think we keep on winding down to COD sucks. It's going down the shitter, and everyone knows it.
And then everyone buys it again.
Yeah, and then everyone buys it. Yeah, I don't know. It got pretty bad. It had awesome beginnings, but like any feverishly produced game, it will end very, very badly for the whole franchise.
All right. What were you gonna say, Preston?
Well, I was gonna say a game that I don't like that everyone else seemed to like was BioShock Infinite.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
BioShock Infinite, mainly because I don't know. I didn't like a lot of the changes that they made from the original BioShocks. Mainly, I know this is I don't know if it's a common complaint or whatever, but I didn't like the whole "you're allowed 2 guns" type thing. I like the whole
Weapon
with
wheel.
the weapon wheel having a wide variety because that's just kind of classic FPS type thing, kind of like where
Yeah,
its
that, like,
base
90s
came from
shooter kind of
System Shock and System Shock 2
And Doom.
and Doom and Wolfenstein, all those types of games. And I understand why they did it because that's where the industry was going. and it just, I don't know, it just, I couldn't see why people liked it, why it got such raving reviews and everything else like that. I'm like, people will like what they want. I can't change that, but I don't know. It was just something that, I guess passed me over as something that people enjoyed that I just, couldn't get into, even though it's a genre that I play all the time.
Well, let's be honest. Like, who didn't go through that game with the rifle and the rocket launcher and call it good? Like, that was pretty much all you needed because those were like the two best guns in the game, and you just kind of like, this will kill everything.
It was, and I kind of thought the thing I thought about it that I didn't like about it compared to the other ones is, I don't know, it felt like that it did there were places to explore, but it never felt like a cohesive world. I always felt like it was very linear in terms of like, you're just going here, now you're going here, and obviously the first BioShock had that, but I did feel like I was exploring a world instead of just kind of following some corridors down to the end.
I mean, the first BioShock had that, but it was kind of like the original FPSs on computer, where it's like you're in a specific map, but you can explore that entire map kind of, not as excessively as they did back then. You were still a little limited on where you could go and such, but it wasn't as linear, I guess.
Yeah, I think the problem that BioShock Infinite suffers from is that it has very highly detailed and beautiful environments, but none of it makes a world. Like, it's not in depth enough though. Like, I mean, yeah, they've got street signs and there's a barber over there doing things and there's this guy walking across the street, but there's no like real feeling of authenticity or realism. Like, you don't have any kind of indicator that, oh, that barber works, really long hours and he's unhappy with his job, and if you go search his house, there's some, an audio tape of him being unhappy. Like, it's missing the little stuff like that they had in BioShock that really like explained the world and gave you hints about what was going on.
Yeah.
That just didn't seem to come through as strong in Infinite, and that's probably my only gripe about it. I really liked it.
And the other part that I thought was, who didn't see that ending coming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it wasn't really that surprising because you're like, oh, your nose is bleeding. We all know what that means.
Yeah, they started hinting at it way too soon. Like, I think the reason BioShock's twist went so well is it was just out of freaking
It was just
nowhere.
subtle enough.
Like, yeah, like it was extremely subtle to the point where it felt like it was out of nowhere. Like in Infinite, they just hit you in the face with it. Like, yeah, by the way.
Yeah, that's true, and it's kind of you didn't really, because I mean before up to BioShock, at least in my experience, I didn't really get a game that kind of was tricking me the whole time, and I just kind of like a usual trope is go here and kill some people and save me. That's a usual trope, right?
Yeah.
And here it's saying like, why did you do that? You just totally did exactly what I told you to do without questioning anything I was telling you.
Yeah.
Oops.
All right, Tom, what about you? How about a game that you don't like that everybody else likes?
Well, I know I've talked about it before, but I'm definitely not a big MOBA fan, so that whole genre kind of is one for me. I mean, I just don't get it. They just don't work well for me, my play style, and I just have never really been that high on them. And another one that I would say is, I wouldn't say that it's a game I don't like, but a game that I think is very not as good as everyone says it is, in the Uncharted series. I don't know. I've played all of them, and I played them all a little bit later than the fact. I played them like in 2012, so it was a little after. So Uncharted 1 felt really dated in terms of gameplay mechanics, and I mean, and there is the fact of that I played it later that does affect it, but I don't know. The stories just didn't grab me. Nathan Drake was a really kind of, I don't know. He was trying to be Indiana Jones, but a lappy Indiana Jones, and I didn't like his tone throughout the whole game. And it contrasted the tension that I was supposed to feel during the game, and I felt none of it. And I don't know. I just never felt this greatest game of all times that everyone tried to tell me that they were for a while, and that's why I played them. But I would say that I enjoyed them. I wouldn't say they're bad games, but I would say that the gameplay left a lot to be desired, and I didn't enjoy it as much as everyone else did.
Yeah, I don't know. When I was playing through them, I kind of got that feeling too, where it just, the gunplay was bad, to say the least, and like, I don't know.
Well, that's just a Naughty Dog thing. All their gunplay tends to be pretty bad.
Yeah,
I thought
mean,
Last of Us was good.
It was okay. It was okay.
Last of Us was awesome.
No, I mean in terms of game, it was awesome, but gunplay wise, it was meh.
Jack and
Okay.
Daxter was pretty cool.
It was.
It was. Yeah, I don't know. I guess. Yeah, I mean, just there wasn't too much drawing me into the Uncharted series, and like the fact that it like suddenly was like supernatural shit. It's like, okay.
It's like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
It was like that. I mean, it's the
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing that like the new Tomb Raider, kind of suffered from. Like, I get Tomb Raider has historically had supernatural elements to it. It's just they made it like so ridiculously realistic, and then magic Chinese well, I guess it was Chinese. No, it was Nepal, I guess. So, well, kind of.
Yeah, it was. No, it was an island, wasn't it?
No, well, yeah, but at the end that you were
I
fighting.
thought it
the,
was
like,
somewhere
sorcerer.
close to Tibet.
Yeah. So-
Which Tomb Raider are you talking about?
The last
just
one,
Tomb Raider.
not the last one. But, the first one in
the
kind of-
reboot of the series,
Which is
is
why
kind of
those
like-
names are really confusing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
Once
I know.
again. But yeah, that one, right? And it's just like at the very end. Oh yeah, supernatural stuff. Haha. It's like, oh, okay.
And that one you were stranded on an island.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also like they kind of throw in the whole, oh my gosh, at the very end she grabbed 2 pistols and that's it. Like that's one of those things that Lara Croft, like when I see Lara Croft, she always has like 2 pistols, 2 in her hands, just firing, and just to throw that in at the very ending seems like they were just trying to cross off a list of fan service.
And
Kind of weird.
but to me, I thought that the
They
Tomb Raider
definitely
was
could have eased
better
into
than Uncharted was, in my opinion. I thought that Tomb Raider game was better than that was what I wish Uncharted was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, now for a 180-degree turn, how about games you like that no one else likes? And how about we start with Tom with this one, because he's got kind of an interesting one. I had never really heard of it too much.
Most
but
people
apparently he really
Most
likes
people
it.
have. I mean, I'm a big RPG fan, and I love leveling systems, and especially love Obsidian and BioWare RPGs. I think they make the best games, in my opinion, and I love most of their games. So I knew it came out. I think it came out in 2011. It was Alpha Protocol, Obsidian's espionage RPG, I believe is what it was called.
Huh.
So
Okay.
it's supposed to be a tactical shooter RPG spy game, basically.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Those don't seem like they would work very well together, do they?
No, it doesn't. I can see why I probably haven't heard
Because when it launched, everyone was super excited for it when they announced it, and it had a ton of hype. And I mean, I was interested in it just because it was Obsidian. I'm like, they always write really good stories, so I mean, I'm usually interested in it. I just never got around to playing it, but I saw it at the store a couple of years ago, and I'm like, it was $5, and I knew that the reviews had been really sour on it and said that it was terrible. It controlled like crap. It was buggy as shit, and nobody liked it. But I played it, and I played all the way through it, and I mean, I will fully admit that the game is not that great to play, and I just go after that after saying I didn't like Uncharted because it didn't play very well. But
just for some particular reason, this just rubs you the right way. Huh?
well, if you put it that way, maybe not so much.
It rubs you in a very special location.
I know.
Tom.
That's why I was like, I don't know if you put it like that. If I, but I don't know. The story was really interesting the whole time. The whole story revolves around your guy gets framed for a tragedy, and he gets on the run like every spy movie, of course.
Yeah.
But since Mission Impossible, but you get framed for that, and so he's trying to figure out what this evil terrorist group is plotting while in the background, while trying to clear his own name. And so it's kind of Mission Impossible-y in terms of that kind of storyline, but it had really interesting characters. I thought it had some very interesting choices, and it did capture the RPG element of you're trying to like control the situation and trying to handle the game, the story elements of the game. It did not play particularly well, but the story kept me interested in it, and I actually enjoyed it. I would say that it is a good 6 out of 10 game, which I think, when everyone sees reviews, you see a 60 on Metacritic, you're like, oh, that game's terrible. But I think that a lot of times the video game media in general, kind of, and the public too, pushes anything that's less than a 7 as awful game, not worth playing. And I think it's a game that's worth playing if you like RPGs, if you like stories, if you like characters, and a decent world, and can overlook a little bit of clunky gameplay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we live in a culture of everything has to be 8, 9, or 10. Like, good God, like, it's every time it's like new game comes out, 9 out of 10, 9.9, 8.7. Like, nobody's ever like, you do realize, like, on a 1 out of 10 or like 1 to 10 scale, 5
most
is average,
should be
right?
5s.
And there
like,
should be at least
6 isn't
1s.
bad. Yeah, and then games that just suck ass are 1.
But it seems like the
That's-
average is a 7 now, and if you don't hit that, then you're not a worthwhile game.
Yeah, really, it's like a 5 to 10 scale is really what it
Yeah.
is. Like, if you get a 5, you're the worst piece of trash ever, and then like 9, it's like, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, and it's just so backwards. And so that's an example of a game I think that's a worthwhile game playing. And it still has a lot after they fixed all the bugs with patches. I think it's a game that's worth playing, especially when you can get it for like $1 in a Steam sale.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For me, mine would definitely be Shadows of the Empire, the old N64 game. It's actually now on PC through Good Old Games.
Ugh.
But everybody I've ever talked to about this are just like, oh God, why? Oh, no.
That pod race level.
I like it.
Oh God, why?
Oh,
Speeder
okay.
level.
Hey, not pod racing.
Whatever.
Sir.
It's
Not
it
pod
started pod racing.
You call yourself a nerd. No, it's... Well, okay, so the reason that's messed up is if you play it on the N64, it's still hard, but it's only in 30 FPS. If you play it on PC, it's like sped up, so it's even harder. But no, I really enjoyed the game. I mean, it's a Star Wars game, and I've been a fan of Star Wars all my life. And like, I don't know, the story's kind of interesting. I like the levels. It was fun to have a whole bunch of different like weapons and just to explore the world a little bit with that. And like I said, the musical soundtrack was good.
Did you play Dark Forces, Zach?
I did. I still like Shadow of the Empire.
What?
I like the boss fights.
Oh,
I don't know. I have always liked it. I still like it, and every time I bring it up, people are like, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
I can't help but agree with the other people.
What, you don't like Sizor's Palace, where you're having to use the jetpack to get everywhere, and then you have to fight the giant robot whilst using the jetpack?
You know, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'll go back and playing Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2 because those are far superior.
Oh, come on. You didn't like the Hoth level where you're flying the snowspeeder around?
You
Come
notice
on.
that you're mentioning all these levels that are terrible.
Oh, okay. So what do you consider the good level in Shadow of the Empire?
There is
First
one.
level. The first level.
The last level because
The
I was
first
done.
level. That one that's actually really
It
difficult
is.
because you have to like thread the needle with the goddamn giant ass ship, and you're like, the controls are ass. I still had fun with it. That's my only gripe is like that may have been a poor choice.
The whole game was a poor choice.
All right. How about you, Preston?
Yeah, now we're on games that I like that no one else seems to like.
Yep. Full
Yes.
circle.
Yes.
Full circle, finally. Well, I kind of have a second one, but it's kind of I'll get into that one later. But I actually enjoy the direction that COD is taking lately with its newer games.
Oh boy.
I could not stand the ground fighting, the ground warfare, World War II type thing. With that stuff, I was definitely more of a Battlefield fan, but when I have an arcade shooter, I want it to just be ridiculous. And COD, with the direction that they're going with, especially with what Infinite Warfare is looking like in the trailer and the gameplay, definitely something that fits more with an arcade shooter than what the general fan base is looking for, which, I mean, it's because the newer games have definitely been an evolution of the gameplay, which I could see people not, going along with because they just want the same old stuff repeated, even though they then complain about the same old stuff being repeated. It's a very
Modern Warfare 6.
very weird game, Call of Duty. People want it to change, and then when it changes, they don't want it to change. They want the old thing back, and then when they give them the old thing, it's the complaint that they never change. It's a very weird fan base right there.
It's the impossible task.
War never changes.
It's a catch-22.
War changes.
the impossible job.
I think what they just need to do is just like put it on hiatus for like 3 years and then come back with a new one. Like take some time, think about it.
The thing is that they kind of do, because the only reason they're having it yearly is because they have 3 different studios working on it.
And each one has their own take on it.
And they all happen to land for the past 4 iterations. They all happen to land on, oh, we're going to do Future, which is why it seems like, I think that's why people are, bored of it right now, because all 3 decided to do Future Warfare, and there's not really much of a difference between them. But it would be cool if Activision allowed them to like just throw your own spin on it. You have the Call of Duty name, same mechanics, but just do whatever the fuck you want with it. Wouldn't that be interesting?
I would see so many things happen. I would want to see them make like a Mountain Blade style game, where they're just all running headlong into the fray.
Please give me Mountain Blade.
Apparently, there was originally.
Please give me that.
Give me Call of Mountain Blade, Call of Kingdom,
Call of Mountain Blade.
Well, apparently there were plans to make a Call of Duty Roman Warfare.
That'd be awesome. I saw that.
Roman Wars.
That would be so
I was like,
awesome.
oh my god. Like, how would that...
Dude, trebuchets and catapults
he just
as the artillery.
Instant knife everybody with the, like...
Basically be chivalry, Zach.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you wear...
But with
chivalry,
automatic
but
bows.
way less, like, complicated.
Types of armor and just keep on going.
Automatic bows.
All those speedy knife guys would, tank the shit out of everyone.
You mean everyone?
Yeah. No.
Everyone in the game?
Which makes it sad.
No, yeah. Watch. It'll be like a sword, 2-3 hits, like tiny dagger, instant kill. We'll be like, what the fuck?
Or
welcome
this
to
doesn't
chivalry.
make any sense.
Or it'll be the larger amount of armor you have, the slower you get, and you're already pretty darn slow, so that like when you're running, archers have a chance to fucking take you down before you mow them down.
It's like playing chivalry, and just like the man-at-arms with the quarterstaff will kick your ass 7 ways to Sunday as a knight, and you're like, this doesn't make any sense.
I have a maul.
Damn it. I have armor. That stick won't do jack shit. Come on.
Jeez.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
How about you, Kevin?
Well, I haven't found very many video games that I enjoy, while other people, have, qualms with. But some of the ones that I'm gonna name off are basically, I think they fit into this category, but I'm just going off of kind of blind faith because I don't know. All I really do know is that the video games haven't really been... Whenever I say that I like these games, everyone's like, oh, that's cool, and no one has ever played them before. And those are Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth, number 1 and 2. And Jack X Combat Racing.
Oh, I played Jack X Combat Racing.
Oh,
I've played Battle for Middle-earth 1 and 2. Those are actually really good RTSs.
Yeah, I mean, for RTSs, they're pretty awesome.
And I will second your Jack X Combat Racing. That game is awesome.
Holy crap, I found a new video game demographic that I should be part of. You guys rock. No, but I mean like Jack X, whenever I, get into a very heated video game conversation, they're like, so, what do you think is the best nostalgic game? And I'm like, well, I mean, I didn't really play Baldur's Gate as a kid. I didn't really play Final Fantasy. I didn't play a lot of the games that everyone kind of grew up with. I had to go over to my friends' places to play like rated T games, which put a damper on it. But one that I above and beyond, got invested in was the Jack X game, and that was
customization. That game was crazy.
Oh my gosh, it was so cool. Everything had like 10 different sets of fenders, 10 different sets of hoods,
each with their own different attributes.
Yeah, and you would have around like 16 cars to choose from, and every single one of them had all this exponentially large set of attributes to train up on.
And each racer had their own as well.
Yeah, it was just it was awesome.
It
was,
really is a great racing game.
Yeah, and for Battle for Middle Earth 2, that game was cool because I was into Lord of the Rings. I played the video games for Lord of the Rings on PS2 in the first place, and I'm like, yeah, these things are awesome. And then I went to Battle for Middle Earth, and I didn't even know what an RTS was. So I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be so cool. I pop it in, and it's a bird's eye view of everything, and I'm like, crap, what the heck do I do? So that game basically built me from the floor up on how to actually play RTSs. I'm still pretty shite at RTSs, but I can say that, I mean, that game was one of the coolest that I've, had a new start in. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed that one myself. Like, I really enjoyed like building your army and then like outfitting them with special equipment. And then the coolest part for me was having persistent armies, because if you play like the longer campaign modes, you were actually able to build an army, and then any army you had like left over from the previous battle would join in the next one.
Yeah.
So you'd have these like veterans of combat who have been with you since the beginning fighting alongside you. It's like, that was a really cool aspect of it.
Yeah, I know.
And then like
That's
Battle
awesome.
for Middle Earth 2, when it went into the like extended universe of it, like all the stuff that was happening while the main stuff was going on, that was really cool to see. You got to play as like the dwarves and the
When did that
elves
game come
and-
out?
Oh god. Oh
It
good
came
god.
out in like 2008.
What's
Yeah,
is
a
it
long
like
time ago.
360 and stuff?
Yep.
No, yeah, actually I think it was.
360 and PC, I think.
You can get it on PC. It's through EA though,
Ooh.
so if you're
Buyer
looking for it.
beware.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Ooh.
Ooh. Crap. No, but that game, it was
I'll have to
it was
try it.
pretty cool. Oh, definitely. And when you do, be sure to choose Isengard, and always warg rush everyone.
Yeah, it's super
Oh,
cool.
geez, that's the best. That's the most strategic way to win. But I like to chill out with and just kind of hang out. They
I don't know, man. Using the Ents is pretty fun
Ents were
too. And just like kicking people across the map.
or throwing rocks at people. Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
to be honest, my favorite faction was like the goblins, because they had giants, and they could chuck, Ent-sized boulders at other people, and
Well, and the power to the goblins was the fact you could send a goblin sapper to put a tunnel entrance behind enemy lines, and then just instantly transport your entire army from your base to behind their enemy lines.
oh, you mean
just
the
like
tunnel?
show up right behind them. Yeah, the tunnel. You could just show up right behind
I
them.
was gonna say I've never had an ability to like do the undermining.
Oh, it's
Oh,
so
shit.
good. Like one time I was playing against people online back when there was actually an online community for the game. And like I was playing against Rohan, and like they were just like, they kept attacking me and attacking me and attacking me, and I was like, I just built this like front line just to keep them at bay, but I was building a huge army, and then I just like very stealthily took one of the goblin sappers and took him as far as away as possible around the like periphery of the map to behind their base, built a tunnel, and just this huge army with I don't remember how many half trolls and like goblin
Yeah.
swordsmen just showed up in their base instantly and just
Holy
like murdered
cow.
all of them.
Jeez.
I was like, suckers.
I definitely have to. I definitely have to look up on that.
It's so much
Jeez.
fun. All right. Well, it looks like the last thing on our agenda for today is games we have been playing. So, what have you guys been playing recently? Why don't we start with Preston on this one?
Overwatch. That's basically all I've been playing.
Oh, you've been doing Overwatch. You've been playing Overwatch
All
too,
the Overwatch.
like the rest of the world.
Yes, like the rest of the world, I've been playing Overwatch. The competitive season finally got started on consoles as of last week. I played my 10 placement matches and middle of the pack. The ranks go from 1 being the worst, 100 being the best. Started out at 50 and currently sitting right around 53 or so right now. But yeah, just playing Overwatch. Basically just doing that whenever I've got free time. But yeah.
Nice.
It's fun. Still fun. Not
All
boring.
right,
So.
How about you, John?
I've been playing a little bit of Overwatch as well. That's one of my games I've been playing a lot recently. But I have also, since I just got my copy, my delayed copy that I ordered last week, I'm not bitter at all. Of
Totally
Zero
not mad,
Time
bro.
Dilemma, the
Totally not.
third game in the Zero Escape series.
So good. I want to play that.
Did you play the first two?
No, but I'm planning on it.
Please do, because they are one of the greatest series you'll ever play of a video game.
It looks fantastic.
It does look really
They are
cool.
awesome. And if you've never played them, you have to, because I think they're going to port 999 and Virtue's Last Reward to PC. So whenever they do, grab them. And because those are some of the coolest games, and they have one of the best stories and one of the biggest twists of games that you'll ever see.
Really?
Yes, it is a story-driven game. It's tense. It has great characters. Great, there's puzzles in it. There's escape rooms, like as the name implies. So that makes it kind of fun to deal with puzzles. I like puzzles, so that helps.
Huh.
And I don't know, they are just really fun. And once I got my copy, I'm like, all right, this is the only thing I'm going to be playing for the next week.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Kevin?
What games for Kevin? What
Pokemon
I've
Go?
been? Oh no, I haven't. Wait, when has Pokemon Go made any progress?
It's coming out tomorrow.
Oh my god!
Wait, really? What?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
All right. Oh my god!
You just gave him the greatest news ever.
Thank you. Today wasn't Christmas, but you gave me a gift.
Nope, that's tomorrow, right?
Oh my gosh! But right now, I've been playing Oblivion, trying to beat all of the quests without incompetently killing people, just by accident.
He'll just do that when he's running around with his Pokemon Go.
Good luck.
No. But then I've been playing Skyrim, trying to do the same thing. Trying to beat it on Master without dying, which is rather hard.
Yeah, I can believe
Oh yeah,
so.
and there's no like restarts or anything. I've had to start a new game like 3 times. And then let's see. I'm right now just getting back into Civ 5, just because it's been a long time since I've played it, and I never really got into Brave New World. So
there's an example of a game I don't like that everyone else likes.
Whoa! Why?
Yeah, I still think you're weird for that, Tom.
I'm not alone.
Aw, that's too bad.
Yeah, but you're definitely the
I know.
minority.
We'll settle this in Civ multiplayer.
Gandhi will nuke your ass, you piece of shit.
What do you
damn you,
Yeah, that's
Montezuma?
just some of the weird alternate history shit. Yeah, Montezuma has declared war on Gandhi.
Oh no!
What?
Oh yeah, no,
What?
no surprise there.
Gandhi has nuked Washington. What the?
He wasn't even at war.
What are you playing, Zach?
Oh god. Mainly right now I'm playing this game. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Momodora Reverie Under Moonlight. So I got it during the Steam sale, and it looked really, really interesting. I kind of fell in love with the art style of it, and playing it, it's kind of like a 8-bit, 16-bit kind of game. It's a 2D platformer-y action game. It's got a little bit of elements of like a Metroidvania-ish. I mean, a little bit of that. But what it really plays like is like a 2D Dark Souls, because there's like big boss battles with huge health bars that you got to try and whittle down piece by piece. Heavy damaging, if you take any damage whatsoever, it's bad. It has like an Estus Flasky kind of system. I think they're called
Is it
bell
like a
flowers. You eat
side-scrolly
one
like
and
Salt
you
and
gain some
Sanctuary?
health. Yeah, it's very much like that. It's not quite the same. Like, it's different than Salt and Sanctuary, but it's the same idea. It's really good. The music for it is pretty good. The controls are pretty tight. It's pretty fun. I really enjoy it so far. I think it's pretty cheap too. I can't. Let me look up the price here. Don't want to like say it's like $10. It's like 30. Oh, I was actually right.
That's
It
not
is
bad.
$10. So yeah, no, it's actually pretty good.
Huh.
Yeah, so I would suggest checking out. I'm having a good time with it so far. Yeah, it is a 2D platformer series.
Ooh.
Yes. Combo and dodge your way through a cursed land to seek audience with the queen and dispel the evil. That
Basically
threatens all
every
life.
video game ever.
Yeah, I know, right? It's yeah, pretty much, yeah. But anywho, yeah, that's basically what I've been playing this week, and that's just about it. Alrighty, well, I think that's gonna do it for today's podcast, but I'd like to thank everybody for joining me today. Again, thanks Preston, Kevin, Tom. Thanks for being
No
here.
problem.
You're welcome.
Way to be different,
All
Tom.
right, well, we'll see you.
Hey,
Way to go, man. You ruined it.
someone's got to be different.
Indeed, we'll leave that up to you, Tom. We'll leave that
Always.
up to you. Always. All right, guys. See you later.
Later.
Adios.